What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome all together. If you're just not joining in, there's no need for a long introduction video, because if you can read, you know what the video's about. We're getting into a story time about my worst Tinder experience. So, without further ado, we're just going to dive right into the story after I take a sip of my drink. So, this Tinder experience takes me back to my first ever apartment that I got straight out of living in the dorms. I lived in the dorms the first year, and it just wasn't cutting it for me. So me and my good friend moved in an apartment on campus together, and I wasn't really dating freshman year of undergrad. So sophomore is really when I'm like, man, I'm about to get me a boo, a boyfriend, whatever. All my friends got one, so I'm getting me one too, period. On God, on site, that's what I'm getting. So that's around this time is really when I start actively getting into, that's around the time I started actively getting into online dating. So this is around the first time I signed up for Tinder, and one of the first people that I matched with was this guy who ended up, this is the experience about. So we matched, and I thought he was a catfish because he was so fine. He had it going on. His body was ripped. He looked like he was a muscle, what do you call him? A bodybuilder. He looked like he was a bodybuilder. So, like, I'm talking to him, he just seemed like he got it all together. He had a nice career. He was a little bit older than me. He was starting a career. He was making way more money than I was. He had his own car. He said he lived with his mom to support her. My stupid, naive behind, just soaking all of this up like bread and butter. Girl, I'm just getting all up into it, like, oh my God, he said this, he said that, blah, 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 blah. So, me and him started talking. I'm like, the more I'm getting to know him, the more I'm really vibing with him. I'm like, oh, he seems so mature. He seems so whatever. One thing that struck me very weird in the beginning was he was always making, when we was talking on the phone and texting, he was always making an emphasis. He was putting an emphasis on the fact that I was black and he was white. Like, that didn't bother me. I'm from a small town where the majority of the people are white, and I was one of the only black people in my high school. So from that to me moving and going away to college, it was kind of more of the same structure. So it honestly wasn't nothing to me to be around different races. I was always used to being around a huge melting pot of, you never know where anyone's from. And so that transpiring into dating, I was always open-minded into dating other races. So I'm not about to sit here and say like I didn't see color, but it really didn't matter because I like them all. I don't got a type. So we on the phone, that's one of the only things that he would talk about. He would be like, oh, you're just this black goddess, and I'm your white chocolate. And I'm like, you corny. Like, it just seemed very corny to me. Like, that's just, maybe that was just his thing. Like, making sure I knew that he was okay with the fact that I was black. Because I guess in today's day and age, that still is a problem. And we went on our first date. Where did we go? We went to Applebee's or something like that. Yeah, we went to Applebee's, and I ended up leaving my food there. And to this day, I'm still disgusted with myself because I hate when I get my food, get it to go, and I put it on the table and I leave it. And I noticed when we was like halfway gone from the restaurant, I almost want to turn back around and get my food. But that has literally nothing to do with the story. It wasn't even the dates that went, like, I really liked him and I really enjoyed his time, but he just kept bringing up the race theme, like, oh, I bet you our kids are going to be so cute because they're going to be like me, they're going to be dark skinned. I love when we're holding hands because you're so dark and I'm so white. And I'm just like, Dang, you think I didn't wake up this morning and realize that I was black? You think I was looking at your pictures and it's just now occurring to me that you white? You don't have to bring it up 24/7. Yeah, we're an interracial couple, we're interracially dating, but honestly, that's not the main focus. That shouldn't be the main focus of us dating or our conversation. So he's like, "Did you tell your mom that I was white?" I'm like, "No." Like, why do? First of all, I told my mom about you. This is like our second date. So then around this time, he started pressuring me to delete my Tinder, and this was like our second date. So I'm like, okay, sure, I can. I don't know how to. I didn't know how the online thing went. I didn't know, and I was very new to dating at that time, so I didn't know that there's, in my personal opinion, everybody's varies, but in my personal opinion, it should go from you met the person, then you guys go on a date. So you're dating. You're not dating exclusively, but you're dating. So you could be seeing other people, still talking to other people. Around date 4 or 5, maybe even 6. That's when you guys start to, you come to the mutual understanding that you're exclusively dating. From exclusively dating, I'm just hanging out with my buddy, y'all. After you start exclusively dating, then you become boyfriend girlfriend after that. That's my understanding of the whole timeline. But back then, I didn't know nothing. He basically said we was together, so I'm like, I'm going with it. Like, okay, we together. Shoot, you my man, I'm your girl. Woo. He told me to delete my Tinder. He told me to let him know when other guys was gonna be around. It was just super controlling, but at the time, it was just super attractive. Mind you, this is all moving super fast. Super fast. Like, I'm not talking about a span of months. Like I said, we had only went on 2 days. So, oh yeah, he was pressuring me to tell my mom about him. And then this is also around the time where I was trying to figure out where I was gonna live the next year, because I knew I was moving with my best friend because she was graduating in high school, and I knew she was coming up here. I didn't know where we were gonna live, and then somehow he worked it into the conversation of like us finding a place together. It was just super clingy, super fast, and I was very, very unprepared for it. What put the icing on the cake was he had a lot of sexual partners. Like, I think 11. And for us to be like 20, 19, 20, 21, that was a lot to me at the time. Now I don't even ask people because it don't matter. It doesn't matter. So he had like a lot of sexual partners, and he had a lot of hookups. So he told me one day, like, oh, I need to call you and talk to you about something. This girl that I was with before you, she just told me she's pregnant and it's mine. And from that, it literally was like a record scratch. Don't say nothing else. There's nothing else to be said. You have something going on with your own self, so you need to work on that. And he blew up on me and got so upset because my immediate reaction was, we're over. If we haven't even been together and you already, first of all, you was already tripping out on me because of that crazy behavior, like who I can go out with, who I can talk to, whatever. That's already number one. Number two, telling me to tell my parents you trying to move in with me. Like, you already crazy. Like, I know I'm fine, but it ain't one like that, y'all. So then now all of a sudden, your girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, ex-hookup, ex-whoever telling you that she pregnant. Like, it was literally nothing else to be said. It was no other conversations. We was done through. I'm not about to be no stepmom, no teenage stepmom. No, that's not my cup of tea. And it was also, should be noted that during this time, I was a speech path major. I was trying to get into my program. I was under a lot of stress from school. I am a first generational college student. So I felt like it was just a lot of pressure, and I didn't have any help. I was working 2 jobs as well. And I felt like maybe this isn't the right time for me to have a boyfriend, if that's what it's like. If that's what my first college boyfriend experience is like. We just met. He crazy. So maybe I should just go back to being solo dolo and the way it has been. So I just got all this going through my head. Like, I never even got involved with him. why did I even say I wanted a boyfriend? That was what I just kept asking myself. Like, why did I even say I wanted a boyfriend when I was straight? Now I got all this drama, stressing, thinking about this while I'm in school, blah blah blah. So I break up with him, and I remember I sent him a text message while I was at work, and I was like, I'm good. Oh no, wait, no, that didn't happen. I was at the train station about to go home, about to take the train home to visit my family when all this happened. And this is when he called me and told me, and then I broke up with him over the phone. And then I was on the phone with my roommate saying everything that happened, and it was just my luck. The train, that's how it is with the train. The train's always late. So the train was like a 4-hour delay. I'm at the train station. They about to close soon, and it's dark, and all the homeless people are out. So he ended up driving to, no, my roommate came and got me, and I went home, and I went to my apartment. Then he drove from where he lived, because he lived like 45-50 minutes away from me, and we had like this long conversation, and he's like, I'm pretty sure the baby's not mine, I'm blah blah, and I'm just all soaking this up. I'm like, yeah, that's not your baby, yeah, we can be together, we can make this work. And I'm like, why am I so caught up in what he's saying when I'm not even feeling him like that this whole time? I'm not even feeling the situation, feeling us getting together, feeling us getting an apartment together, and I'm just going along with what he's saying, like, yeah, you're right, baby, we can make it work. Just stupid. So what ended up, so okay, so then after I sat and I marinated on it, I started pulling away from him. This is like 2 weeks. Like, we saw each other a couple times in between, but I'm just pulling away. Like, I don't even want you coming to my house no more. Like, we can meet out to dinner, and we could, but I'm still distancing myself already, not even knowing. Like, it was an subconscious thing. I was distancing myself from him unknowingly. And when I was at work, I was just sitting here thinking, like, why am I putting this much thought into what he has going on? He just needs to get his stuff together, and then we can see. And that's what I texted him. I'm like, maybe you should take this time to work on yourself and work on what you have going on, and then in the future we could see if you're sure this baby isn't yours, or if you're sure everything gonna work out how you think. Then let's just pause and press play at a later date. So from there, he started blowing up my phone, sending me all these texts, telling me he on his way to my house, and we gonna talk about it. And I'm like, no, I'm not at home. I'm at a friend's house. I'm actually back home with my parents. Girl, just lying, saying anything to get over. And I know it was pretty crappy of me to send these text messages over the phone. I mean, to break up with somebody over text message. I should have did it in person, or I should have did it over the phone. But I just already knew he was about to react crazy. So he is blowing my phone off the hook, and I'm at my house with my roommate, and I ended up blocking him. I ended up blocking him, and he was sending me all these messages telling me, like, he's like, you fat, you're so fat, you're so ugly. And it just, why every time you break up with a guy or you turn a guy down, all of a sudden you fat? I wasn't fat when you was on my head 2 days ago. I wasn't ugly when you was on my head 2 days ago. But now it's like, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm a piece of shit, I'm trash, blah, blah, blah. So he called me every name under the book, talking about, you so fat, your stomach hang over your belt. And I'm like, baby boy, I haven't worn a belt the whole time we've been together. So in my eyes, everything you saying don't matter. Talking about I'm fat in my belt. When have I ever worn a belt over my pants? So that's how you stupid. And that's what I told him, and he could not believe that I didn't care what he was saying. So he was sending me all this stuff. He was texting me, calling me. Then after he called me every name under the book, he started saying, like, oh, baby, please come back with me. I want you to be with me, blah, blah, blah. Then he called me and told me he was going to go. I'm not listening to none of this. This is just all on that. I downloaded Mr. Number and I blocked him. And Mr. Number at the time saved everything like a transcription. So he went to the allegedly went to the abortion clinic, and he gave her the money or something. And then he said like it ended up being crazy. Like she was like 6 months pregnant or some shit. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know they gave abortions at 6 months. Like this point, now I'm stupid. And then he was like, oh, it was all just a Ponzi scheme. It was all just fake. She just took my money. She not even pregnant. She just got a little belly. And he was just going through anything to get me to say anything back to him. So then that didn't work. And I ended up actually having to have my brother get involved because he was showing up to my apartment and saying like, I hope and it wasn't nothing. He never stepped to me in person, first of all, because I would have beat his ass, because he like 5'5", 5'6". That was when I was back in my phase of dating shorter guys. So it was never that, but I did feel the need to tell somebody else what was going on, because I do live with a female roommate. So I let my brother know, and after that, I think it took my brother and his fraternity brother showing up one time at my apartment, and I never heard from him again, because he, I got some shooters. So after that, nothing else happened. I never heard from him again. Interestingly enough, on Facebook, it's like 4 months ago, I found out that he had gone viral on Facebook for saying a bunch of racist things in somebody's DMs, saying like calling him the N-word, saying talking smack about him for somebody for dating interracially, saying like black people was monkeys, you're not supposed to date like interracially. And that was just also funny to me. And my old roommate who I lived with at the time, she tagged me in it, and it was just so funny to us because he was so pro-black and so pro-interracial dating at the time when we was together. But now all of a sudden it was different. And everybody, another ex-girlfriend of his was in the comments. Somebody, yeah, he was crazy when we was together. He had mental issues. He blah, blah, blah. He insane. And that was just so crazy to me that it wasn't just me who, like, cause I never heard from him after we left. I mean, after we broke up. After he stopped showing up to my apartment, I never heard from him again. And he's still out here to this day acting crazy as hell, y'all. So that's my craziest Tinder experience. It's also my first Tinder experience. It didn't deter me from getting into it, but that was my first online for real dating boyfriend online experience altogether, and it just so happened to be on Tinder. If you like this story, you want to hear more stories, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, especially subscribe if you are a new watcher. And until next time, guys.